From the very first glance, people judged him. They looked at his worn-out shoes, his tired eyes, the little girl clutching his hand, and they assumed he was nothing more than a struggling single father who barely had control of his own life. But destiny has a strange way of turning whispers into roars, and one ordinary man was about to silence an entire world that doubted him. They never imagined that a single dad, who once walked instead of driving, would one day be the one behind the wheel of the most powerful luxury car parked in front of the richest CEO in town, and change everything. Backhand index pointing right. If you believe in kindness, respect, and second chances, please like, comment, share, and subscribe right now to support uplifting stories like this. Ayaan had not always lived a life of struggle. Just 3 years ago, he was a devoted husband, a dreamer, and a man building a small business with his wife, Sana. They used to make plans by the window at night, sketching the future like a bright painting. But fate struck with cruelty when his wife fell ill unexpectedly, leaving him alone with a 2-year-old daughter, Hania. Her tiny hands clinging to his shirt as he cried silently beside the hospital bed became the night his entire world shattered. He sold his shop, his bike, even the jewelry Sana loved, everything just to fight the illness that still won. And when she was gone, what remained was debt so heavy that life felt like a burden strapped to his heart. Now, Ayaan worked as a parking valet at a luxurious hotel, the same hotel where wealthy people tossed away money that could pay his entire month's rent within seconds. Every night, he would carry his sleeping daughter from a neighbor's care to their one-room rental, reminding himself that he hadn't lost everything, he still had her, his reason to live. He arrived early every morning, neatly wearing a uniform that never quite hid the exhaustion in his bones. He smiled and opened doors for people who treated him like invisible dust. But he endured it all because he believed dignity was in effort, not wealth. One day, the hotel welcomed a special guest, the youngest billionaire CEO in the country, Ayaan Malik. His Lamborghini Aventador roared like thunder as it entered the driveway, catching the attention of everyone within sight. Ayaan was the definition of arrogance and perfection, expensive suit, expensive watch, expensive ego. He believed money defined how people should be treated. That day, the staff whispered rumors, Ayaan was hosting a grand business party inside, and every influential person was attending. Ayaan, as usual, stood silently at his post, watching the elite walk past as if he didn't exist. Then, the unexpected happened. Ayaan stepped outside, surrounded by friends and a woman wearing a glittering dress. She laughed loudly and dared the billionaire with a playful challenge. "Let someone else drive your Lamborghini today, Ayaan. If they drive it better than you, I'll kiss them instead of you." Everyone laughed, as if the idea was absurd. Ayaan smirked confidently and replied, "Deal. If anyone can even properly start it." The woman scanned the crowd, then her eyes stopped on Ayaan, the quiet valet with a worn-out uniform. She pointed at him. "Let him try." The laughter stopped, replaced by looks of disbelief and mockery. Ayaan scoffed, "I don't let people who can't afford fuel touch my car." For a moment, Ayaan lowered his eyes, his pride struck, his dignity bruised. But then he remembered his daughter, who was watching him from across the driveway, waving with a smile as bright as morning. He walked toward the Lamborghini slowly, not as a beggar of respect but as a man who had learned to stand tall even while the world pushed him down. Ayaan mashed the key into Ayaan's palm. "Be careful. This car is worth more than your entire life." Ayaan calmly sat inside, placed his hand on the steering wheel, and for a brief second, he felt Sana beside him again. Before life broke him, they used to dream of owning a car one day. He whispered to himself, "This is for you, Sana." The engine ignited with a roar so powerful that the crowd stepped back. Ayaan's eyes sharpened like someone who had just woken up from a long sleep. With expert precision, he shifted gears and launched forward, smooth, powerful, controlled. He drove with confidence through the pathway, making a perfect drift at the turn that left everyone wide-eyed and silent. It wasn't just driving, it was mastery. He returned and parked with such grace that even the most skilled drivers would applaud. Everyone stared. Speechless. Stunned. Ayaan's jaw tightened, his arrogance crushed. Ayaan quietly stepped out and handed back the keys. The woman, keeping her promise, walked toward Ayaan, but he stepped back and politely said, "Respect is worth more than any reward. I did this not to impress anyone, but to prove that no one is less because of their struggles." His words echoed. A businessman in the crowd suddenly approached. He had been watching Ayaan closely, recognizing rare potential. "Where did you learn to drive like this?" he asked. Ayaan hesitated before replying, "I used to race. But life changed." The businessman smiled. "How about changing it again? I need a skilled driver for my transport company. Good pay. Benefits. A better future for your daughter." Ayaan's eyes watered as he turned toward Hania, who ran into his arms, hugging him tightly. For the first time in years, hope didn't feel like a stranger. The crowd that once mocked him now clapped, acknowledging the strength hidden beneath the roughness of survival. Ayaan, who once looked at Ayaan like a nobody, stood silently with something unusual in his eyes, respect mixed with guilt. He extended his hand, a gesture no one expected. "I misjudged you. I'm sorry." Ayaan shook his hand, not out of pride, but out of grace. "We all make mistakes. What matters is what we do after." That night, Ayaan walked home, carrying his daughter, but this time, his steps were lighter, filled with promise. He realized that success isn't measured by wealth or status, but by the battles you overcome silently, the sacrifices you make out of love, and the dignity you protect even when life throws you to the ground. Sometimes, the ones who appear ordinary are carrying extraordinary stories of resilience. And sometimes, people just need one moment, one chance, to prove that they are more than the world believes. Broken heart, if this story touched your heart, please like the video, share it with others, and subscribe so more people can witness stories of courage and hope. Pushpin before you go, comment below. What part inspired you the most? Even when life pushes you to the edge, don't stop believing. A single moment can change everything, just as it did for one single dad who proved that dignity, love, and courage can drive the strongest engine in the world, the human heart.